Heartwood Hotel. Chapter 9. The Shadow in the Storage Room. Mona and Tilly stared at each other, wide-eyed. Tilly's tail bristled. "I told you," whispered Mona. "Shh," said Tilly. They waited, but the sound did not come again, so Tilly scampered to the storage room, Mona behind her. They pushed aside the curtain, entering just in time to see a shadow at the back of the room flit between two rows of food. "Hey, stop!" shouted Tilly. But the thief didn't. Instead, for Mona couldn't make out whether it was a he or she, or even what kind of animal it was, turned, ran, and leapt into the wall, right into the vent. "Oh, no, you don't," cried Tilly, speeding down the aisle, almost tripping over a spilled box of nuts, obviously the cause of the thump. Mona chased after her. When Tilly scrambled into the vent, Mona did too. The tunnel was dark and musty. Tilly only just fit, and Mona got a faceful of fur. Still, Tilly moved forward, fast, worming her way up, up, up. Mona couldn't get a glimpse of the thief through Tilly's giant tail. What kind of animal was it? What kind of animal stole? Not a good one, that was certain. Should they really chase after it? Shouldn't they tell Mr. Heartwood? Shouldn't they get help? She should tell Tilly to stop, but it was too late. Tilly had reached the knothole at the top of the vent and dove out into the snow. So just try to picture that. She's climbing up in the tree through a vent, and she reaches a hole, dives out into the snow, setting off after the creature, who was speeding away across the sea of white. You want to see a picture? There's just a little one at the bottom here. A blast of cold shook Mona from head to tail, but she jumped out too and rushed forth. The thief was in the distance, a large dark shape, and Mona still couldn't make out what it was or who it was. Mona raced after Tilly and the thief through the courtyard, which wasn't exactly a courtyard anymore. The blackberry walls were completely buried by snow. Past the bushes where Frances was sleeping, she could just see the nose peeking out, and into Fernwood Forest. Although Mona ran as fast as she could, she quickly fell farther and farther behind. She was just a mouse after all. Would she lose sight of them altogether? Mona had never been this deep into the forest before. Never been further than Heartwood. She had no idea what she might find. I want you to just stop and make a little prediction right now. What do you think might happen here? Now, in the silvery light of the moon, she was discovering pools of frozen water, giant trees, and bushes covered in ice and snow. But not just that. A wreath woven from thin twigs hanging from a bush. A chimney sticking out of the snow-buried stump. A doorknob poking from the side of the tree near a large branch. Small hints here and there of other animals that were hidden away. But there were fewer and fewer signs of the thief. As the thief plunged down a snowy bank and sped over an icy part of the stream, Tilly right behind it. Mona slipped and slid but didn't fall. There is a certain balance that comes when an animal's heart pounds, a certain phenomenal strength and speed, and how Mona's heart did pound, not from fear so much as anger. Anger at this thief and even at Tilly. It was just like Tilly to leap into something without really thinking about it. If they got into big trouble, it would be all Tilly's fault. At least now Tilly could see it wasn't her who was stealing food. That she wasn't lying. Those things wouldn't really matter if they were both attacked by the thief or lost in the snow. Fear outweighed anger when all at once the thief disappeared into a large snowbank. Where had the thief gone? Not long after, Mona understood. The mound of snow was actually a giant buried log, the top edge just peeking out from a heavy layer of white. It was the thief's lair. That's like a home. "Stop!" Mona cried out to Tilly. But it was too late. Tilly dove in after it, and Mona followed. She plunged into the hole in the snow and into the darkness, landing with a thud. You think it's smart for them to go into his home? Or her home? I don't know. She blinked and took a few cautious steps as her eyes adjusted. There in front of her lay Tilly, splayed out on the floor. Towering over her was none other than the thief. A rat. Mona had seen rats before, but never any as fearsome as this. His tail was scarred, and one ear was ripped in two. His fur was matted from the snow, and through it she could see his bones. He was thin like Francis, but unlike Francis, he didn't look frail. His sinewy muscles were all flexed, so he's a fit. Even his tail was flexed, and his teeth, long and white and sharp, were bared. Showing. Tilly was trembling. Now you've done it, the rat said in a raspy voice. Mona swallowed a squeak and scoured the floor, and much to her surprise found just what she needed, a small, sharp twig. She grabbed it and pointed it shakily at the rat. She was trying to summon her courage to use it if he lunged, when a tiny piping voice shouted, "Please, don't hurt Hood." Who's saying that? We will have to find out in Chapter 10.